Hey, how's it going, guys? It is the Hoff, and I figured I'd give you guys a quick little update on everything going on with the basement and stuff going on, since it has been what feels like ages. So almost a year ago, I moved in this house, and I spent months upon months. I mean, it had to be like almost 6 months, maybe a little more, just trying to find a good contractor that can come in here and finish the basement and do it right, considering everything that we were trying to go with for the home theater, a game room, and stuff like that. Since then, I found someone. There was a little bit of issues with on their end where they got somebody else involved, and I now have somebody that has been in the process, and we started the process of the basement. So as you can see, I got Valencia seats, which are quite nice, and I'll go over those when we actually get the basement finished. I can make a dedicated video on those. I got another subwoofer, which currently has some stuff on it, to match the other one that I have. So if you're interested in that video, I can go ahead and link that one above. And outside, we have the wood to start the framing at least, and I'm not sure what else yet for the basement. So we have that already, and they should be getting that going. I'm assuming early next week, because they said in less than 3 weeks we have the electrician coming in, so they can rewire everything to a new breaker box in the basement and have that wired up to the power that's incoming, and add the solar and everything, so it's all coming off the same thing. And then we also have another store coming in to help with the speaker wires, because I mean, I just prefer my time to be my time, you know, with my family and work and stuff like that. So I figured that I would just have someone come in and do the speaker cable and the Ethernet cables. So they're gonna assist with that and hopefully nicely run an Ethernet cable to my Ubiquiti Doorbell Pro. So I'll have my Doorbell Pro hardwired now instead, and be able to have a package camera and a front-facing camera with a nice LCD display, better microphone. So it should be all good to go with the PoE adapter for it, and still be able to set off the chime. And I have 2 smart chimes, one that's going upstairs and it's already there, and one that's gonna be down in the basement. So that way, if my phone is not directly on me or my watch or whatever, I'll still hear the chime and get the notifications. So that is quite nice. But that's about where we're at. The pool table that I ordered is graciously being stored where I ordered from until we get the basement at least at the point where they can come install it. And I'll talk to the contractor and figure out if that's going to be like the, hey, basement's done time and they can install it, or if there's some time before that I can have it installed and they're just finishing up stuff. I mean, I don't know at what stage they're doing what, but I'm pretty sure it will have to be when it's more or less completed, because I don't think they want to work around and deal with paint and everything else that potentially could get on stuff. And it's just better not to have them mess up or do anything by accident to the pool table working around it, when we can just hold off and get it done, installed after the fact. So we'll see on that. And I didn't get nothing too pricey. I mean, I looked at the diamond tables that are like professional grade type tables, but now a 9-foot table, it's quite nice with a 1-inch slate. So I'll go over that when it finally is in and installed. And then we still have to get the arcade, which they will move that in. And eventually at some point, I will upgrade the graphics card and power supply downstairs in the basement for the pinball machine, and take that graphics card, which is a 2060. I'm debating probably a 3070, just to make sure that I got a decent amount of power to, because I know there's newer and newer pinball tables coming out that are really demanding when you do triple screens. So those require a little bit more graphical power, I would say. And if there's any updates to VPX, which I heard might be coming to make it perform kind of like VPX does now, but I think they're gonna incorporate, I don't know if it's ray tracing or maybe it's ray tracing, I thought they said. Plus, I heard they might be doing stuff that they do in like Zen, where stuff can like move around. So you'd have Attack from Mars with the UFOs that kind of will move and twirl in like a circle and stuff like that, and they'll just have more effects. And a lot of that stuff is going to take way more power, and I want to try to get as close to 120 or more frames per second with a lower end graphics card. Not goes like pretty high, like 4090 or 3090, because I have a 3090 in my desktop. So go with something that hopefully won't be too overpowering as far as the amount of power draw it's going to take, but that it will still function well. I got to double check what CPU is in there to make sure it's not like a complete bottleneck. And I know there's 16 gigs of RAM, I think, in there. So, and it's 2 sticks. So that should be good to go for that. And I did update some tables. They had a really nice table to release today of Halloween. So that was pretty cool. I messed around with it just long enough to get some video recordings for my pinup popper. So when you're looking at the loading screen, like the screen to selection screen, I should say, it will have a little video playing of the table, playfield, I should say, is what they call it. So that's pretty cool. And there's different things in there, so maybe I'll show some of that stuff off at some point. I will get to showing off. I'm sure the guy already seen it because there's a Facebook group of us with the Ultra VP, but he asked about showing off some Batman Forever, and unfortunately my tripod has been broke, so I probably got to order another one of those because one of the legs broke off of it. And the wife's been using it in transport. The kids kind of were messing around or something, and by accident a leg got broken off. So got to get one of those going so I can get these videos going pretty well, at least weekly. But that's kind of the biggest update we have. Those chairs, which I can't wait. The chairs are supposed to be super comfortable. And then I really want to test out how the volume and the bass vibrations and all of that is going to affect my main floor once they get all of the double sheetrock and the walls and stuff like that with the sound dampening insulation in. Like, make sure that one, it's not too bothersome if my neighbors are outside or even to their house. Lord knows, definitely don't want it to have a lot of sound travel to their house, because that just means, you know, late at night you kind of can't watch anything down there without turning it super low. Another thing I need to look into, and by all means, if any of you have any suggestions on a universal remote, now that Logitech has discontinued their Harmony remote series, I will have to look at something else. And I was looking at, what was it, the remote? There was a remote I was looking at, the circle one, or one circle. I think it was like UO. I'll link it below, but it was a universal remote that is projected to come out by Christmas for those early adopters. So it's a like Kickstarter program, and then you can be on the list and be notified when it's going to be fully available for anybody else that wasn't part of the Kickstarter program. So I looked at that, and that's going to be more customizable, but I don't like, I'll be able to do everything, and hopefully I could set it up and explain it to the wife, and mostly the wife, because the remote's going to be used in the home theater room, and I just, at the age now of a 12, 8, and 2-year-old, who definitely is going to be in that room alone for the 2-year-old, but the 8 and 12-year-old, I kind of don't want them messing with it without us there, so I'll more than likely be turning it on and off and making sure everything's good to go when they're not in it. So they're not going to be trying to use that stuff without me. But yeah, if anyone has any suggestions on another universal remote besides the one that I'm going to link down below, then by all means, let me know, because I looked at a few, and there was one that was basically a tablet remote where it had a OLED screen on it, but it was shaped like a remote, and then anything you could download from the Google Play Store you could have, which there's a lot of apps out there that can control the devices, but it's not like a remote per se. It looks like a remote, but they're relying on companies having an app to control your devices, where I'm looking for something that would be more like the Harmony, where you can just go on the computer, add the stuff, and this one that I'll have linked below is supposed to have it where you can go ahead and link it, either I think it's Wi-Fi or Ethernet to your internet, and then you'll be able to go ahead and update it and do anything else that needs to be done. I think there's macros you can create, and there's going to be sharing of files, so if someone creates something, so you don't have to recreate it, and you should be able to do various things with it, but it's more on your end for some things, and then other things they may have. So it's not going to be, I don't think, as super easy as Logitech, but there might be some things, like for the main bigger products out there, they'll have some super easy, download this and set it up. Here's a macro, one button, and it turns on your amps processor, and your screen will come down if you have a screen that is motorized, or your projector will turn on, or just your projector turns on if you have a fixed screen. And probably even if you have lights, it dims the lights, and then another macro that can completely turn the lights off. So there's various things. Try to see how user-friendly it is in the reviews and stuff when the time comes, because I'm not sure right now if the basement's going to be a December finished thing anyways. And even if it is, to be honest, this video is taking a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but to be completely honest, not part about the video, but the funding to finish all this I have, except for the projector, I'm not quite sure yet, as well as the processor and amps to get all of the speakers properly working and powered. I have a processor all-in-one Sony that I made a video on, and it's decent for what it is, but the stuff doesn't sound as good as it could, and it's not powering all the speakers as much as they could take in power. Plus, I will not be able to power all of my speakers off of that with the setup I'm going with. So that is why I will definitely need, hopefully you guys like the video, watch the videos, and watching old videos and everything else. It always helps out when you like, comment, and subscribe. So I appreciate that, guys. And I figured this would be a decent update. There is lumber in the front yard. They couldn't take it to the back without potentially damaging mine or neighbors' yards to get it back there with the truck. So it's sitting in the front yard, just waiting for them next week to come in and get the framing started and everything going. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.